That's
good enough. Let's think a little bit about how we deal with other people. Okay. If two people are at your house and they're having an argument, you know, one likes this and the other likes that, what's a rule that you could put up? What rule comes to your mind about your behavior?
Well, all I gotta do is admit that I'm right. Show me the.
Anybody else got a rule? I'm about to write down a rule, but you might think of others. Rules of behavior, if you want to. And, except they're not rules that you have to obey. It's optional, of course. Well, the first one I thought of is this. Not to do. Don't take sides. I'm with this one instead of that one. This one's right, this one's wrong. Don't do that. And it doesn't, yes.
Well, my rule is that you can't call each other names.
No name calling.
Yeah.
Is this a third party looking at another argument, or you are in the argument?
I was thinking of third party, but we can get to being in it as well.
You're hosting the setting.
Yeah, you're hosting the setting.
Hang on one second. Sandra, can you see, Sandy, can you see his writing okay? Or is it, can you read his writing on the board?
He's using blue.
Well, I'm half blind right now, so no.
Okay. Bob, do you have a darker marker? Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
Oh, that would be good.
Yeah, thanks, Norma. We couldn't see.
Yeah.
To indicate how unlike the ordinary situation this is. When I first got acquainted with A Course in Miracles and was trying to put that into play, I was at home one day, and the kids and my wife and children as well were playing a game. They had divided up into two teams and playing some kind of word game. They had asked me if I wanted to play, but I stopped playing games as soon as I read the course or came across the course. I said, I don't play games anymore. And they said, well, don't you want to play, Dad? No, thank you. So they started playing, and but I noticed that one team was a little bit better than the other one. So the next time the other one didn't get the word, and I thought of a word, I said the word, you know, oh, you want to send him with that? It's blah, blah, blah. And then it came again. Well, they still didn't. There was another word they needed, and I said, well, you could use da, da, da. At that point, the team I wasn't helping became angry with me.
You took sides.
Well, no, I would have switched to them if. Oh. No, I didn't take sides. If they'd started losing, I would have switched. I was trying to equal everything, so that no one wins. That's what I was trying to do. Is no one wins, no one loses. And they said, "Dad, go away. Get out. You know, just go do something else." And I said, "Well, that doesn't work." But no, I wasn't trying to take sides. I was trying to abolish sides.
And but that it wasn't perceived as that.
No, well, they didn't. And even if they had perceived it, they didn't want it.
Right.
Either way, they don't. Whatever it is I'm doing in their perception, they don't want.
Right.
So, you know, we have this wonderful quote, and it's such a good one. And it says, when you've got a dreamer here, and he's got this dream, you know, it is mine put out. You join with the dreamer, but not with his dream. You don't have to agree with his dream. You don't have to like his dream. You may think it's very destructive. Last thing in the world you'd want to join with. Well, you don't have to. It's just a dream anyhow. If you join with it, or and also you don't want to do is don't fight his dream. By the way, don't join. so this is why you, let me say it this way. I wanted to put the do not, I wanted to get the join in there. Do not join with his dream. But don't fight it either. Either way, you're saying that's the reality when that isn't the reality. So don't be concerned about what other people dream of you. The dreams aren't real anyhow. And now that can be overdone in the sense you say, well, I was at this meeting the other day and these people began insulting me, but I remembered that their dreams are not what they're saying is part of the dream, and it's not real. And I just didn't say anything. They just insulted me so terribly. And a lot of their insults were sort of true. And I felt so bad about that because they immediately saw that I couldn't do this, that, or the other. That's what they hit on. People know what your buttons are after a while, you know. And so they hit them. They want to hit your buttons. And so what the problem here is you're not paying attention to the energy of the situation. I never care what you think of me. I just don't care. But I do care about what kind of energy you're sending at me. So if you think poorly of me, you're right. If you're sending negative energy at me, I do not want to accept it, and I must do something to make sure I don't accept it. And that usually means speak up. You know the statement silent gives consent. So if they're calling you an idiot and a miser and whatever other things they want to call you, and you don't speak up and you're silent, you may be taking in that energy. So what you want to do is not take the energy in, and the course says how you do that, and it calls it the best defense. The best defense when someone's saying something negative about you. If you remember that one, it's not to attack the other person's position. Don't fight his dream, in other words. But that's just one thing. The second thing, protect truth. And I think that means your awareness of truth, because truth itself that never needs protection, but your awareness of it doesn't. And our hold on truth is not infinite. I mean, it can be assailed. And the way you protect truth basically is by opening your mouth and saying your truth. Which I'm not going to attack what you believe in, if I remember this, at any rate. You have the right. Who am I to tell you what you ought or ought not to believe? But I'm just going to protect my truth. So I'm going to, my statement, okay, Bob, you're not a very good driver. In fact, you're an awful driver. So I don't want to argue. So I want to say, I love to drive my car. I do the best I can. That's my truth. It doesn't matter what you say, really, as long as it's positive. I think all Martians are great people. Hell, say that. It doesn't matter. Just say it, a positive statement. But normally you'd want to say something that makes sense, that works a little bit better. Don't have to, but just make sure it's positive. But if it doesn't make sense, you can't. You might not realize you're protecting. Just protect. Let's just say your truth. Don't worry about whether your truth is really true. That's another question. That's another concern. Just what you believe. Just protect what you think and what you believe, and you just make it as a declarative statement. Well, I'll just give you an example. I happen to think of one. When Obama was president, I had to go to the dentist, and the people in the office there told me, now don't talk. No, it wasn't the dentist. It was the heart guy. Yeah, I used to have a pacemaker, which I don't anymore, but I used to. So I would go there, he'd check it out, and they said, don't talk to him about politics or anything like that, because he's had it up to here with that, and he just wears him out, and he just doesn't want. I said, fine. I wasn't particularly planning on it anyhow. Anyway, and when I come back out, they said, I said, well, I didn't talk to him anything. I didn't even mention politics. Not that I intended to. She says, I know. She said, well, You know, we don't either, except we all hate Obama. And what I said, just protect the truth. I don't hate anyone. She had nothing more to say about that. I wasn't saying she couldn't. She can hate the whole world, the whole underworld, and the overworld, and any other world there is. I don't care. Make me any difference. I'm not. It's not only going to not join her with her. I'm going. But I need to protect my truth, which is I don't hate anybody. Which is that's the truth. That's my truth. And I'm not attacking her position. So if you take sides, it means you're saying I'm for one and against the other, and that's divisive. You're for everyone. Doesn't make any difference what their dream is. If you take sides, you're taking sides with the dream, and therefore saying, I don't care what the person is. Oh, look, they put out a dream I don't like. I can attack that. Oh, great, this is so much fun. I'll just attack their dream. And therefore, you can't attack someone's dream and join with it. That's my opinion. The course, I'm not sure the course says that. That just seems to be the kind of experiences I have. If I start telling you how bad your dream is, like your house is bad, your car is bad, your children are bad, your family, all your dream. It's just bad. But I love you. Then they'll still tell me it again. There's a door, please leave. I don't want to talk to you anymore.
My husband gets a lot of hate mail now, but a lot of stuff. My husband's in politics.
Right.
He gets a lot of hate mail now. And it's kind of really nasty stuff,
Yeah.
And they assured that it's his fault. The whole world's going to, where in the bucket. But what amazes me, and what I wanted to share with you is my husband will call you back and talk to you if you give him a number, because these letters are pretty heavy. I am amazed at the number who will not answer the phone and give out a phone number. But they'll send out this horrible letter about everything.
Is it a letter or a text?
Text, I'm sorry. We don't get a lot of letters. Oh, it's the email. And I mean, it's things he doesn't vote on. He has nothing. No way could he be part of what they're talking about.
But you see, that's irrelevant.
Yeah, that is right. But I'm also amazed, if I'm angry enough at you to email you a horrible letter and call you a lot of names, I'll give you my phone number. I mean, I will talk to you about it. But I'm surprised if the number, I suppose they just vent. That's their way of getting it out.
They don't want to discuss anything.
No, they don't. No.
And they don't hate your husband.
Okay.
They just hate.
Yeah, they just, yeah.
I mean, it's attach his name or your name or my name. They don't really care about the name. They just want, but they want some name on it. Nobody, it doesn't usually suffice if you're angry to walk outside and say, I hate the universe. That somehow doesn't bring the same satisfaction. Oh, send a letter to God. No thanks. I'll pass on that one. I'd rather send it to a person and one that won't call me back. I don't want to talk to him, see. I think we all know, and there's some truth in this. When we were growing up, we were probably told, before you get angry, count to 10. Have you not heard that sort of thing? How about 100? But at any rate, by the time I get to 6, I will have forgotten what it was I disliked anyhow. But I think there's some truth behind here that is useful for us. We need to remember, if we have a negative thought, we know what we need to do with it. We have 16 seconds, or 17, I forgot. 16?
17.
7. Oh, I got another second. Oh, thank God. I got 17.
Talking about Abraham.
That comes from Abraham. I got 17 seconds at the 18th when all these other mental thoughts are going to converge on me to reinforce it, and I'm going to be in trouble. See, but I have 17 seconds to let it go. And so, when you're thinking about being angry, you can make it work. You can make it stronger or weaker. If you make it stronger, then it's harder to let it go before the 17 seconds. But how do you make it stronger? Okay, this applies not only with anger, but with positive thought as well. If you speak it to someone instead of just in a thought, it is now stronger. This is not the course. This is just our common everyday experience. I think we all know that. If I argue silently with you silently in my mind, you know, all I got to do is change my own thought. I haven't put it in your mind or into your ears, and you're not upset with me. And so if I do speak it, either to another person or just out loud, just speaking it out loud makes it stronger. Now, it's my experience that if I write it down, that makes it stronger than just speaking it out loud. I'm the only person in the room say, but I'm mad at you. You're elsewhere. If I just speak out loud to that room, I'm mad at so-and-so, I don't like what they're doing, that makes it stronger. If I write it down, it makes it stronger still. So let's apply it in the other direction. Let's suppose that I want to release something. Then we're still in our private room here, okay? I want to release my anger at you or somebody. Then if I speak it out loud, for me, makes a stronger energy effect than merely say it in my mind. So I can start saying out loud, I want to release this thought. I want to see this different. If I stop and write it down, then that's even stronger still. But it is really helpful to deal with the energy that accompanies whatever thought you're having. You can decrease it or you can increase it. So the thing that works for me really, really well, I hope it works for you. I don't see how it couldn't. The next time you're angry, I know that doesn't happen real often, but in case it does happen tomorrow or next week or whatever. And it's always at the thing that person doesn't know, the person that does that text believes that the bad feeling he has, he can get rid of it by sending it to you, and it doesn't work. After he texts, you know what he wants to do next? Think of somebody else to text because it didn't work. He's still hateful. See? Yes, ma'am.
You claim what you proclaim.
Claim. In other words, understand that you're responsible for. Is that what you meant? Instead of
the energy that you put out is the energy that you keep and increase.
Oh, okay.
You put out energy in either direction, it's then the energy that you're increasing.
That's true. Well, the other thing is that when you project it out, you don't get rid of it. That's another way of saying that same thing. You still have the negative energy. So how do you get rid of negative energy is to recognize it's not true, not based on fact. I don't care what the specific case is. If you have negative energy, it is not based on fact, period. And you say, well, it is because I've got this problem, da, 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 da. You're not negative. You are perfect. I bet you forgot that if you're angry. I bet maybe you had never even thought about it. So that's why it's so helpful in dealing with other people is to tell them they're wonderful. As they're coming this filth out at you. Okay, pause. I got a thought for you. You're wonderful. Not the dream you're spewing all over me. I don't happen to agree with that. Protect your truth. You don't want to align yourself with their negative thoughts. You don't want to, in other words, don't jump into their dream. No, don't do that. The dream is theirs, let it remain theirs. But they have forgotten that they're wonderful. The Course says that you're worthy. Actually, you're infinitely worthy at all times for all good things. Infinitely so. Because that's what, if God made you worthy, why would he make you 95% worthy? Why would he make you 99.9%? Ever heard of 100%? That's the way it would be. That's the way it is. That's the way you are. But of course, the world thinks you're a failure or not good enough or something. And so we hear that all the time. People hear that. Anytime somebody makes a negative statement, in fact, he is telling you about a negativity in him or her. The person that did the text has some negative thought about something and is trying to get rid of it by blaming it on somebody else. See, blame doesn't work. You blame somebody else for something that happens and you don't like, you still don't like it. The problem is you must change your perception. And that's always called for in forgiveness. And if I blame somebody for something and feel bad about them, then I have to change. I must forgive him. That's what the Course says. And the first part of that is to change my perception. The first time I think I have an enemy, I need to change that thought and have no enemies. Only my thoughts can make you an enemy. Because I'm an enemy only in his dream. That's the only place that the word enemy would fit. The dreamer is perfect, just as you are. And the word enemy cannot arise even. So don't see another person as your enemy. As soon as you do that, you're taking one step down a stairwell that's going to take you further and further if you keep going with it. He is your brother, of course. We all know that. Oh, yeah, okay, he's my brother. A real practical way to say this is because, when this happens, we get our emotions start to rile up. It doesn't stay dispassionate like I'm not mad at anybody right now, so it doesn't feel like a problem. As soon as I'm actually angry at you because you didn't do what I wanted you to do, that's always why I'm angry. Then the emotion is there, and I begin to have I seem more stuck in the anger. There's not when you're mad, there's not a little flashing sign that says, you do not have to keep this. You can let this go. It's not based on fact anyway. It's not there. You have to put it there. A real quick way is to simply say, I'll just ask you, what do you say in your mind when you're angry at another person? He's just done something that's really dumb, and even if it's not dumb, you don't like it. It's not what you would do, not what you would like to do. What's your first tact? We don't have to share it necessarily, but I would like for you to try to think for yourself in your own mind. What is the first thing that you do?
See this differently.
Let me see this differently. That's a quote from the Course. Well, when I say the same thing. I simply say, Holy Spirit, help me see this person or this situation as you do, because my perception right now. I just end there. It always works. Bob, you're going to be thinking, Bob, you're talking about just a little anger. What if you're really mad? Prayer. The only thing that comes to my mind is to say the same thing basically, but with greater desire. Please help me. You don't even have to say please, of course, but say it with desire. I really, Father, Mother, whatever, Holy Spirit, I really need some help here. This person is wrong, isn't he? You do see that, don't you? Can I possibly convince you? And we know that you will not be able to convince God, because he says, no, that stuff is the dream. So we just go around life making dreams real. That's what happens again when you take sides. I kind of like to have an image. Let's say this group over here is saying one thing, this group over here is saying another thing, and they're throwing rocks at each other, or verbal or real or whatever. I don't want to look at that group. They're different from me. They're all younger, let's say, or older, whatever their difference is. So I start to pick sides. So that's what I don't want. And I remember, I don't want to pick sides. Okay. What do I want to do? I have a little vision. This group's arguing with them. I want to imagine a slice. Here's argument. I want to imagine, it's like almost like a thin doorway. I think it was a slice through presumed reality. It just goes through it. It's like a doorway to another time. It's like a doorway to another universe, whatever. But you can't see this. You can't. Once you step into it, you can't see that way or that way. So what you want to do is you just simply, I just imagine walking through it, and I don't see what's there, and I don't see why it's there. But I remember there was something around I didn't like, and I just start forgiving both sides. By forgiving, I mean not judging. Sometimes we use the word forgive in that way. I'm going to forgive those people or these people. You see, you just forgive both. And again, that means I refuse, because it's you have power. You can choose to not judge. It's the most important choice I can think of. Use your power to see it right, to see it the way the Holy Spirit sees it, and that will never be to judge. So you just walk through this and bless. Bless in that direction, bless, and you just bless everything. You are powerful when you do that. You can do that at any point in any argument. You are powerful. You don't have to pay attention to what the words say. The words are meaningless anyhow. Please pay attention to the energy and don't let it get into you. But as long as you do that, because then you're not so powerful. If their negative energy gets in you, now you have a problem. So you're not powerful. You're trying to struggle with your own problems. See, you just don't let it come in the first place. You just walk right through it. You say, yes, but Bob, you're ignoring the important point that's happening here and the important point that's happening there. There are no important points in a world that's not real unless you make them important. That's up to you. You have the power. You see, as soon as you listen to this side and listen to that, you just gave away your power. Don't give away your power. It's not necessary, or give it to, if you must, give it to God. And I think that all of us, at least I have this, maybe you don't, I don't know. I have the feeling that, I'm just ignoring the world. And the Course says, yeah, exactly. That's the deal. You can either, you see, if you're not going to ignore the world, then you're going to hear this side, and you're going to hear that side, and you're going to like one and not like it. And which one you like doesn't mean squat. Or which one, I'm not picking on you, the same applies to me as well. It doesn't mean squat. You think God, are you concerned about blah, 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 blah? You know, some situation, whatever they're arguing about. And the Course says, there's nothing to fear. There's therefore nothing to be concerned about. You are concerned only if you choose to be concerned. And I'm saying, I hope that I would love to see that. I would love all of you to jump up and say, I never care what the world thinks. But I'm not waiting around, you know. but that's the thing. If you don't care, then you're not joining with the dream. See, the world is a dream. It's not reality. God didn't make. That's what the Course says. It's your projections that make the world. I like to have another image about making the world, and it's this. I like to think in terms of painting. And so to paint, you need a canvas. You don't paint on air. Paint's got to stick on something. So you go get a canvas, and it has no paint on it. I'm going to paint it. If I'm mad, I'll paint it dark gray. If I'm happy, I'll paint it bright yellow. Choose your color, whatever. But this canvas is embossed. Embossed means it has humps. It has a house, sort of a house-shaped hump over here behind the canvas. It has a car-shaped thing over here. The canvas is still white. And the embossing is not real definite, but but that embossed means there's, I don't know what embossed means. Number one, I never use that word, but I think it means there's something behind it that sticks out. I can't do it with this piece of paper. You could do it with cloth better. You know, an object there. Well, it would be like if you took the canvas and stretched it over some objects that were on a tabletop and then tacked the canvas down. It would have humps. So it'd have a hump for your dog there, and have a hump for your cat, or your car, or whatever, or another person, shaped roughly as they are. And these embossed pieces move around. Now, how they're moving doesn't matter. What matters is what color you paint them. If you're mad at your cat, paint it gray. I'm mad at my cat. If you're mad at something else, well, let's send a text to your husband. Let's do that. See. But when you send the text, you're just putting more paint on the embossed part, and it moves around. And you call that whole thing the world. Your projection, your paint. I think of your paint as my projection. See, I'm projecting out and painting parts I don't like with some color I don't like, and I'm painting the other with other colors. And neither the canvas nor the embossed things are a part of God's reality. The world has only the meaning that you give it. Your painting gives it the meaning. Just little bumps moving around on the canvas, they have no meaning. Why should I like or dislike them? But if I forget that there are little bumps and actually think that that one's a dog, then I can get mad at it. Or it's you and you have the wrong. Your thoughts about that are all wrong anyhow. So I can paint that gray in a time. But you never get away. You never release yourself from negative energy by projecting it on somebody else. The ego deceives you and thinks, well, that's the way to get rid of it. No, you still have it. In fact, you have more of it, because originally I was mad at you, and now as I sent, the people that they're doing the hate, they were not mad at your husband. They don't even know your husband. They don't know what he does or doesn't do. They have no idea. If you could please write on a piece of paper everything that husband does during the day, blank page. They'd have no idea. And so you're hating a blank page and giving it a name. But that means their anger actually gets bigger. I really believe this. There may be by the way, a temporary reduction in it. I don't know why there is, but when you really get mad at somebody and you say, well, I'm just so mad at you, is there a little bit of feeling of satisfaction? But I'm not sure. Might be, probably varies. But even if there is, it's not going to last. You're not going to feel good about that. You have a grievance, and having a grievance is the last thing in the world I want to have. I don't know whether you're this way. I hope you are this way. That if you have a grievance, you get one tomorrow at 4 o'clock. At 4:01, you're all over it. That means getting it, send it in a way. And by 4:17 seconds, it's gone. There's no reason to wait. And if you need to write it down, I have done this so many times. So I have some situation that's on my mind. I'm about to go to bed and it's kind of bothering me. I get up and I write down how awful this situation is and what I'm going to do about it. And I'll send this letter to Joe. As soon as I'm written it down, it's out of my mind. See, the ego will tell you it might be better to remember it before you go to sleep or you forget it. This way I say, I won't forget it. I've written it down. And the next day, do I send that letter? Why? No, I throw it away. It just had a temporary purpose, but I'm not going to make things worse by texting somebody about it. There's no need. But when I write, to write things down, I really am just trying to go for clarity. What is it precisely that you did that I didn't like, and why is it that you don't have the right to do that? Sometimes it's hard to find reasons, so you just make them up. But it doesn't make a difference. Just clarify your position. I just wish he wouldn't do that. I just really wish he wouldn't do that. That makes life hard for me. No, your own thoughts make life hard for you. Nothing else can. Thank you.